You probably listen to music every day. Chances are it's on Spotify or Apple Music. These aren't just apps, they're platforms that have transformed how we discover and enjoy music. Their rivalry isn't just about business, it's about who controls your listening habits, your money, and your loyalty. This battle shapes how artists get paid, how new music is found, and the future of audio entertainment. Both offer access to over 100 million songs for a monthly fee, but their approaches couldn't be more different. Spotify began as a Swedish startup obsessed with streaming, while Apple leveraged its iTunes legacy to keep users in its ecosystem. The platform you pick subtly shapes your daily habits, from the artists you discover to how music fits into your devices. The winner here could shift power in the music industry and change what it means to be a musician. Which is better? We'll break down their history, user experience, business strategies, and what's at stake for artists. By the end, you'll know what makes each service tick, and which one might be right for you. Let's dive in. To understand Spotify and Apple Music, let's rewind. For decades, music meant owning something: vinyl, cassettes, CDs. You bought it, you owned it. Then came the internet. MP3s and Napster let you get any song instantly, but it devastated the industry. Apple's iTunes Store, launched in 2003, offered a legal way to buy digital music paired with the iPod. But even digital ownership started to feel old. Why own a few thousand songs when you could access millions? That's what Spotify's founders asked. In 2008, they launched Spotify. Stream any song anytime for free with ads or pay for premium. This shifted music from ownership to access. Spotify grew fast, while Apple stuck with iTunes until 2015, when Apple Music launched, integrating streaming into every iPhone and Mac. Apple used its massive user base to catch up, setting the stage for today's battle, the innovator versus the giant. Now both fight for control over how we listen. The shift from buying to streaming changed everything: how we find music, how artists get paid, and what the future sounds like. The question isn't just what you listen to, but how. That's the world Spotify and Apple Music are fighting to shape. Let's see how the numbers stack up. Let's talk numbers. As of early 2025, Spotify leads with over 615 million monthly users, 267 million of them paying subscribers. Their freemium model draws people in with a free tier, then nudges them to upgrade. Apple Music is premium only. Estimates put its paying users at 110 to 120 million. Spotify's subscriber base is more than double Apple's, but Apple's users are all paying. In 2024, Spotify pulled in over $15 billion in revenue, mostly from subscriptions, but profits remain slim due to high licensing costs. Apple doesn't break out Apple Music's revenue, it's bundled into their $100+ billion services division. For Apple, Apple Music isn't about direct profit, it's about making iPhones and Macs more valuable and keeping users loyal. This gives Apple a huge advantage. They can play the long game, while Spotify must chase growth and profitability every quarter. Spotify's business is high volume, low margin, and always under pressure. Apple Music is a strategic tool, not a standalone business. The numbers reveal two very different approaches, one chasing scale, the other building loyalty. But numbers only tell part of the story. What's it actually like to use these apps? Let's find out. The real test is the daily experience. Spotify's dark, info-rich interface is built for discovery. Personalized playlists, new releases, and podcasts greet you every time. Its killer feature is seamless playback across any device, no matter the brand. Spotify Connect lets you jump from phone to laptop to smart speaker in seconds. This open approach makes Spotify the go-to for anyone with mixed devices. Apple Music is clean, bright, and minimalist. Tabs like Listen Now and Library keep things simple and curated. For Apple users, integration is flawless. Music syncs across iPhone, Mac, Watch, and HomePod. Siri voice control, spatial audio, and lossless sound are big perks for audiophiles. Apple's magic only shines if you're deep in their ecosystem. Spotify is about versatility and discovery. Apple Music is about seamless premium integration. Which vibe fits you? Zooming out, music streaming is just one piece of a bigger puzzle. Spotify wants to be the world's audio hub. Music, podcasts, audiobooks, all in one app. They've invested billions in podcasts and are pushing into audiobooks, aiming to own your entire listening day. But Spotify's focus is also its risk. They live and die by audio. Apple's strategy is different. Apple Music is a lock-in service. Its real job is to make you buy more Apple devices. If your playlists and library are on Apple Music, you're less likely to switch to Android. Apple bundles music with other services, promotes it on every iPhone, and doesn't need it to be wildly profitable. For Spotify, every decision is about growing users and revenue. For Apple, it's about ecosystem loyalty. Two strategies. One bets everything on audio, the other uses music to strengthen its empire. That's the real battleground. But what about the artists? How do artists get paid? It's complicated and controversial. Both Spotify and Apple Music use a pro rata model. All revenue goes into a pot, then gets split by total streams. Platforms take a cut, then labels and publishers get paid, and finally, artists get their share. Spotify pays about $0.003, $0.005 per stream. Apple Music pays a bit more, closer to a cent, since all users are paying. With Spotify's massive user base, artists might still earn more there overall. The system favors superstars. Indie artists need millions of streams to make a living. Many call for a user-centric model, where your subscription goes to the artists you actually listen to. Both platforms offer analytics tools for artists, but the core payout problem remains. The debate over fair compensation is far from settled. For now, streaming is a tough business for most musicians. Discovery is where these platforms really shine. With 100 million songs, finding your next favorite is a challenge. Spotify's algorithm is legendary. Discover Weekly and Release Radar serve up new music tailored to you. Their data-driven approach learns your habits and refines recommendations. Apple Music is catching up with personalized mixes and curated playlists. Apple leans on human curation. Expert editors and live radio give it a personal touch. Spotify bets on algorithms. Apple blends tech with human taste. For some, Apple's playlists feel more thoughtful. For others, Spotify's serendipity is unbeatable. The choice? Trust the machine or trust the experts. Discovery is at the heart of both platforms. Music isn't the only thing they're fighting over. The battle now includes podcasts and audiobooks. Spotify has spent billions on podcast studios and exclusive shows aiming to be your all-in-one audio app. Podcasts and audiobooks keep users engaged and bring in new revenue streams. Apple pioneered podcasts but took a hands-off approach for years. Now, Apple is funding originals and offering podcast subscriptions, tying audio content deeper into its ecosystem. Spotify is betting the company on audio. Apple is strengthening its platform. For Spotify, it's about owning your listening time. For Apple, it's about enriching the Apple experience. The fight for your ears is bigger than ever. So, who's winning? By user numbers, Spotify leads, more listeners, more reach, best-in-class discovery. But Apple Music is a powerhouse inside Apple's profitable services division, locking users into the Apple world. Spotify is a focused audio company. Apple is a hardware giant using music as glue. It's a battle of business models, specialist versus ecosystem builder. And don't forget Amazon and YouTube Music, each with their own strengths. The real winner, you, the listener. Competition means more music, better features, and constant innovation. Whether you want Spotify's discovery or Apple's seamless integration, you have incredible options. The war for your ears isn't over. As long as they compete, we all get better ways to listen. So, which side are you on? Make sure to like and subscribe for more deep dives.